Albedo, what the devil do you think you were doing?
Hello besties and welcome to another Genshin theory! To be honest, I didn't think that 2.3 was going to be as eventful as it seems. I thought it was just going to be an Albedo rerun and a couple events, nothing special, but it looks a lot crazier than I anticipated.
Sorcery. I knew there was something dubious going on here.
Albedo.
I actually was planning on doing a Conria theory update this week, but now that the 2.3 trailer is out, I think I should talk about that instead. The 2.3 trailer had a lot going on, despite it only being 4 minutes long. But I'm gonna ignore the first minute and 45 seconds because it doesn't really have anything to do with wild lore or plot developments. Past that point, the focal point of the trailer is Albedo. To make this easier to understand, I'll break down the events of the trailer and analyze them as they happen. Albedo first shows up in a voiceover on top of an image of Dragonspine. He says the transcendent and miraculous are not the only things to which humans aspire. They pursue the everyday, the ordinary, to a far greater extent than I would have ever imagined. This mountain we stand on is a cradle of life's profoundest mysteries, a vast and terrifying hotbed of possibilities. I think Albedo is talking about himself here. He's clearly not human, which is why he speaks about them as if he isn't one. He mentions the widely held pursuit of the ordinary, which I think is something he relates to. Albedo knows that he's capable of becoming dangerous like he mentioned at the end of his story quest, but he doesn't want anything bad to happen at his hands. He wants to live a normal life with other normal people. When Albedo says a vast and terrifying hotbed of possibilities, it's implied that he's referring to Dragonspine, but I think it could have another meaning on top of that. Albedo himself is that terrifying hotbed of possibilities. He's unsure of exactly what he's capable of, and he's scared of his own abilities. It cuts to Eula and Amber on the outskirts of Dragonspine. Amber is building a snowman and trying to get Eula to participate, but she's distracted by something. Eula looks up at the mountain like something up there is troubling her, and remember that for later. Next, we see that Albedo's camp has been tampered with. The alchemy table is knocked over and he says that some of his notes are missing. Albedo seems to be working to identify the thief, but hasn't figured it out yet. I'm sure that'll be something we help him with. As for who the thief could be, our options are pretty limited. I doubt it's Sucrose, because she would definitely ask Albedo for his notes rather than just taking them. Klee has the potential to cause a mess like that, but she would have no reason to take his notes. The people he interacts with regularly wouldn't do something like this, so it has to be someone else. I feel like I use Dainsleif as a scapegoat for a lot of bad things, but I genuinely think he does them, and this is no different. Dainsleif has a clear connection to Albedo in that they're both from Conria. In Albedo's collected miscellany, Dainsleif says that he's familiar with Albedo's form of alchemy, Chemia, and that knowledge like Albedo's led to Conria's destruction.
No one can dispute Albedo's talent, but the source of the knowledge he possesses. It once brought about the destruction of a glorious nation. The essence of his knowledge is equally unknown. But I know it well. It hails from Conria, the art of Chemia. Soil and chalk, the universe and earth, pure dust and the birth of human life. There is no mistaking it. I am content to watch most crises play out from the sidelines, but if Albedo were ever to make a single wrong move, I could not let myself ignore it.
Albedo seems to be the only Conrian we know who doesn't have evil or ulterior motives in relation to the Cataclysm. Dainsleif seems upset by this when he brings up Albedo's potential involvement in the fall of Conria, or at least his supposed similarity to the aggressors. In the last line of Albedo's collected miscellany, Dainsleif says, if Albedo were ever to make a single wrong move, I could not let myself ignore it. Dainsleif has something against Albedo. I don't see why anyone else would steal his alchemy notes other than Dainsleif. Like I've mentioned in past videos, I think Dainsleif is working with the Abyss Order, but obviously I can't explain all of that right now, it would take forever, so go back and watch my other videos about Dainsleif. He could use Albedo's knowledge of Chemia to further empower the Abyss Order. We already know he's collecting Conrian technology because we helped him get the first Field Tiller's Eye. Aside from advanced machinery, Conria was known for Chemia. Dainsleif could learn how to do Chemia from Albedo's notes while also sabotaging an enemy of his cause. But let's get back to the trailer. Eula says that Dragonspine has become more dangerous than it used to be as Albedo is faced with an avalanche. That was probably why Eula looked up at the mountain and seemed worried. She probably heard that there was an avalanche going on. Albedo seems to be around his camp, which isn't too high up. The avalanche is obviously coming from above, likely the peak of the mountain. An avalanche targeted at Albedo could be a coincidence, but that seems way too convenient. His notes were stolen and now a natural disaster is happening to him. It's all a little too close for it to be a coincidence. It would actually make a lot of sense for an avalanche to happen on Dragonspine if Skyfrost Nail, or at least a part of it, fell off and landed back down on the mountain. If anyone were to know about Skyfrost Nail and its history, it would be Dainsleif. Skyfrost Nail was dropped on Salvin Dagnir to kill everyone in the country for not obeying Celestia. Dainsleif can relate to that, so it's natural for him to know Skyfrost Nail's purpose. He could have moved pieces of Skyfrost Nail without having to climb all the way up to the main part with his abyssal power, and he could have caused an avalanche if he threw it down. The last part of the trailer actually made me pretty emotional. I tend to have fairly emotional reactions to fictional stories, especially ones I'm invested in, and this looks really bad, so I kind of freaked out.
Albedo, what the devil do you think you were doing?
We see Eula, Amber, Bennett, and Traveler fighting Albedo, who is now using Cryo instead of Geo. There are two possible explanations for that. Either Albedo somehow got a delusion, or he can use an element without a vision or delusion like Signora. We're not entirely sure how Signora is able to use Pyro without a vision or delusion, but we know she can. I think Albedo's cryo powers probably don't come from a delusion because he has no ties to the Fatui, so it has to be something like whatever Signora has going on. But that's not what freaked me out about this. What scares me is that Albedo is turning on his peers and friends. At the end of his first story quest, we hear him monologuing to himself. He expresses his fears that one day he might destroy Mondstadt, and he wants us to stop him if the day ever comes. I think the day is upon us now, but it doesn't look like we'll be able to stop Albedo from at the very least hurting himself. He doesn't even know what he's capable of, so I'm sure he's just as scared as the rest of the Knights probably are. And even if we're able to hold Albedo back, that doesn't solve anything. The Knights won't trust him anymore, Cleet will stop looking up to him as an older sibling, and Dainsleif is one step closer to what he wants. It's a bad situation no matter what. I'm writing the script the day that the 2.3 trailer came out, and I've already heard a lot of predictions that Albedo will die. I really hope that's not the case, but we can't know for sure. All I can say is that Albedo's chances of survival don't look good. The odds are stacked against him, as are his friends. When Albedo inevitably loses control and fights us, it's not because he wants to. He literally cannot control himself. Whatever magic Chemia used to create Albedo has worn down over time, and Reindotir might know that. Reindotir is from Conria, and Conrians have a history of targeting other countries, especially Mondstadt. Maybe Reindotir made Albedo faulty on purpose. She could use the excuse of him being a failed creation while also getting the satisfaction of seeing him destroy Mondstadt. If that's the case, then I don't think there's any way we can save him. Albedo was doomed to fail from the start, and his fate is finally catching up with him. I doubt we'll be able to stop Albedo from attacking us, but if we can, then what? He'll be fired from the Knights, exiled from Mondstadt, and he'll lose his friends. Albedo won't have anything or anyone to turn to at that point. To me, that's the worst possible scenario. If Albedo is just abandoned, who knows what else he'll do? Or worse, the Abyss Order could take advantage of his emotions in that situation and use him. We've seen the Abyss Order manipulate people into working for them before, that's why Dvalin became Storm Terror. Albedo has the potential to fall into something far worse than he could have ever imagined. That makes his line from the beginning of the trailer all the more heartbreaking. The transcendent and miraculous are not the only things to which humans aspire. They pursue the everyday, the ordinary, to a far greater extent than I would have ever imagined. This mountain we stand on is a cradle of life's profoundest mysteries. A vast and terrifying hotbed of possibilities. Albedo wanted to live a normal life, but his inherent nature got in the way. No matter the true outcome, it'll be bad for him. He was destined to self-destruct at some point, and now we just have to wait and see what that self-destruction really entails. I really hope I'm wrong about all that. I normally like to think that all of my theories are right because it makes me feel good about myself, but this one is just so sad that I hope it's not true. But I've been proven right before, so who knows? I predicted that the Raiden Shogun wasn't Ball and that Scaramouche was somehow related to her, and I was right about both of those. Albedo is my friend's favorite character, so I really don't want him to die because I know how much they love him. But I guess there's some good news for Albedo lovers. His banner was confirmed, so good luck to everyone pulling for him. I was gonna go for Albedo, but then I got C1 Hu Tao, so I have a really low chance of pulling him now. I'm still gonna pull on his banner, but I'm not really expecting anything. I'm super excited for Ito to finally show up too. I'm probably gonna skip his banner, but it looks like his story quest is gonna be a lot of fun. As always, let me know who you're pulling for and I'll wish you good luck. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye, besties!